Hi everyone, good morning. Am I audible now?
हजुर हुनुहुन्छ
Okay. So help me share the screen, okay? Okay, so can you see the screen of iLearn?
सर देखिरहेछ
Okay, now I can hear you as well. Okay, so what is the problem? Can't you access this?
यस सर
I had uploaded yesterday. You cannot go inside.
हजुर
Okay. So it is restricted for section A, not for B.
पखाउनु एड रेस्ट्रिक्सन्स सर यति सेभ
Can you
गर्नुहोस्
please
न
check?
यता
Yeah, can you check again?
पखाउनु है फाइनेन्स सर रेस्ट्रिक्टेड छ
Oh, okay, I'll talk with the management and I'll
सर एकचोटि त रेस्ट्रिक्सनै हटाइदिनु न दुइटालाई तपाईँहरू राखेको
yeah, we have to like put more these kind of assignments in the future as well, right? So I'll fix it after the class, okay? So let's not kill much our class time. Let us move back to our class. So welcome everyone. Good morning. Any queries regarding last class? Did you go through the questions of slides? Anyone? Any question? If not, then I'll move forward with today's session. I'm waiting, guys.
सर त्यस्तो क्वेसनै हेरिएन सर हिजो चाहिँ अल्छी भएर अलिकति
Okay. So weekend is coming. I request you guys to please go
स्योर सर हिजो
back to
सबैको
the slides.
हिजो सबैको असाइनमेन्ट त्यो छ अरू त्यो अर्को सब्जेक्टको लगभग सबै त्यसमै व्यस्त थियो होला सबमिसन गर्ने आई थिङ्क perhaps all of them might go through it on today. आज सबैजना
Okay, Praveen. Understood. But I have been constantly saying that this time value money is really important chapter for
yes
finance. If you do not understand it, if you there is time, still one class is left. So you can ask any question from slide 1 to end. And I've also shared all the slides of this learning outcome too. If you don't understand this, it will be really difficult for us in the future, okay? So please go through slide 1 to end. Slides are really easy. You don't have to delve in other sections. You just have to go through the slides and solve questions along with calculator. Today, I hope that you guys have brought calculator along with you. The 7 of you did not have calculator last class. So I hope that you have also brought calculator along with you. If not, then can you please quickly bring calculator, okay? Scientific calculator I'm mentioning specifically. Okay, then let me share the screen. Let us move on with our class then. Okay, finding the interest rate. This we mentioned in the last class, right? I also demonstrated you how to find out present value, future value, number of years and rates. And if you don't know any one of 4, then you can calculate accordingly. And you can calculate through Excel sheet. I demonstrated you in Excel sheet. Okay, so for present value, you can see like if for present value, the function was is equal to PV. Okay, is equal to present value. Very simple. Okay, this is something which is really required of you after during your job period. So FV for future value, For calculation of future value, you have to type is equal to n future value. Okay. If you do not understand, please go through last class. N per means number of period. If you don't know the value, and last is rate. For to find the rate, you can type is equal to an rate rate. Okay. This is how you calculate through Excel. I'd love to show you how the finance calculator works. Slides. Okay. This is finance calculator. Okay. Please, is it visible? Guys, is it visible? I'm waiting for your answer.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Yes.
So this is a finance calculator. It was not in course. It was not needed for me to show you this, but I humbly believe that you have to know every way possible to find answers. Okay. So that if I show you once, then you can explore yourself, isn't it? You are intelligent students. You are in one of the top colleges of country. So at least if I show you the path, then it will be really easy for you to delve in at least, right? It will be kind of icebreaker as well. So it is BA2 plus calculator. Okay. Yesterday I showed you how I demonstrated you how to calculate any questions if any of the factors are given, present value, future value, number of period, and rate, and you can shuffle between those. Same thing applies. If we did in Excel file, then we can do in this calculator as well. This is called financial calculator. Why? Because there are certain functions. See, let me show you these. These are the functions which we need. Apart from that, there is no need for you to understand right now, but later on also I'll be demonstrating you how other aspects of calculations are done. Right now, can you see that n, right? That n means, do you know what n means? We have already discussed n means number of periods, and it doesn't necessarily mean um, number of year might be equal to number of period. We already mentioned that, right? If compounding is done monthly, then there is a high chance n might be 12. If compounding is done in annual basis, n might be 1. How many times compounding is done? That is called n. We have already discussed. So n is here. After n, there is iy. Iy is there. Iy means period. That is called year as well. How many years or rate per year? Okay. If a question gives you how much 100 will be valued at the rate of 10% after 5 years, then 5 is number of times and iy is 10%, 0.1. Okay. PV, you know what present value is, so present value is PV. Next is PMT, means payment, same as Excel. Payment means number of payment if any inflows or outflows arises in between present value and future value. In Nepali, it is called kista, installment, or it might be equal, it might be unequal. It depends. Okay. Final one is FV. FV means future value. It's really simple. It is not that difficult. More so, if you want to do calculations in lump sum, then it is very easy. So these are the buttons you use. Okay. And another button which you constantly need is this one, clear work. It is called clear work, to clear everything you have done. That is one another button which you might need. And there are three buttons, like here is written second, right? In this button you can see it's written second, 2 and D, second. Now second means you might see other functions which is written in the calculator. Let me give you an example. In number 7 you can see here is written data as well. Okay. In number 8 there is written state as well. Okay. So if you want to access that function of data, if you hit button 7, then in a normal way 7 will be displayed in calculator. Okay, but if you want to hit data, then you have to first of all click second. Like how do I demonstrate it? Like when you use shift in keyboard of your laptop. Okay, if you have to hit percentage, what will you do? You'll hit shift and 5 button, isn't it, in your keyboard of your laptop. Okay, likewise, shift button is called this second if you want to access another function. And what is another function, you may ask me? It's all written in the calculator. For example, in 7, if you want to access data, you have to first hit second, it's like shift, and untap it and then hit 7. Another example, if you want to know profit, then you hit 3. But it's not important for our calculations right now, but you have to know bits about these calculator as well. And if I have to mention you, there is one on and off button is here. There is up and down button, delete or installment button, ins button. So there are other functions as well you can explore, but these are the only buttons we need. Okay, so you might ask, sir, then okay, I understood that these are the buttons, then how can we calculate it? Okay, so
So what's the
let me
maximum highest digit calculation in this calculator? सबभन्दा धेरै क्यालकुलेसन चाहिँ कतिसम्म गर्न सक्छ?
You can do any number of calculations. So practically tomorrow, when you land a wonderful job or when you start your venture, you'll always be using either Excel or a financial calculator. You can do any number of calculations, and even some of the calculations, like if you want to find rates. Okay, well, for example, effective rate and nominal rate, I'll be explaining that later on in our slides, later portion of our classes. But if you want to learn those rates, there are certain estimation you have to do. For example, you'll understand that rate might be in between 8 and 9%. Okay, but you'll not understand whether that rate might be 8.5% or 8.25. In that case, if you do manually, you have to do manually for 8.1, 8.2, 8.3. But if you use financial calculator or Excel sheet, then there is a high chance you'll find answer right away within 2-3 seconds. So yeah, as they used to say that computer is here for us to save times, and it holds true. But for now, any question which will be given to you in the assignments, any question which will be asked in your midterm exams, these all questions will be solved, can be solved easily through your calculator. Okay, so don't worry about that. But our class is not limited to what you it's not limited to exams, isn't it? It's I wanted you to learn these calculations as well. So let us do this calculation. Here is one example. Okay, here is one demonstration. There is written as well using financial calculator. So here you can see this one is n is 10. Okay, sorry. Okay, n is 10. Okay, let's see. So n is 10. Okay, so what will you do? Okay, simply put, what will you do is that you simply, first of all, you'll type 10. Okay, you'll type 1, you'll type 0. Okay, and then you'll type n. Done, as simple as that. Second, we are going to find rate. Okay, so second is present value. So we have to, the inputs are n. In this question, inputs are n, present value, per month installment, and future value. And we are told to find rates. We are told to find interest rates. Okay, interest rate per year. So to find interest rate per year, we are inserting inputs of other 4 factors. So let us move on. The second factor is present value, that is 100. So what will we do after this step? After inserting n, we will type 100, 100, and then we will hit present value. Simple. It's 5 greater. Anyone can do it. And please always make sure that you hit minus, because it's outflow. Present value is outflow. You are depositing it somewhere so that you are going to get good amount of future value, isn't it? So please insert present value as well. Moving on, PMT is 0. Payment is 0. In between present value and future value, there are no any payments. So PMT is 0. So what will you do? Simple. You will type 0 and then you will type PMT and then you will move forward. Then future value is 150. Likewise, what will you do? You will type 150, 150, and then you will hit future value. Now at finally, what will you do? You will just, now this is important, guys. Now at final, what will you do? CPT, here is one key called CPT. CPT means compute. Okay, CPT means COMPUTE, compute. Okay, so before finding any factors out of these 5, you have already put in inputs of other 4 factors, right? So we are going to find rate. So what will you do? You have to do is that first of all you have to hit the button CPT. CPT means compute, and then hit the button IY. Is it clear? Okay, so it is not complicated. It's a no-brainer. No need to, like, if you see once, then you can understand. It's just extended version of, I'll say compressed version of Excel. Okay, any confusion yet? Guys, any confusion? I'm waiting for you.
No, sir, no.
Okay, so it's really simple. Okay, so let us move on with the class. Now, further on upcoming sessions, I'll not be discussing about financial calculator. Okay, it's really simple. No need to like think about it much. I hope that you understood it. So moving forward, today finding the number of years. Okay, so we sometimes need to know how long it will take to accumulate a certain sum of money. Yesterday also I mentioned that how many times does it take to double our money, right? You can see in our talks, right, in our gossips and all sometimes, and also in movies as well. You can see that how much time does it take to double our money. Everybody are looking at. So if anyone asks you, given that amount of 1 lakh rupees, then what how can we make it to 2 lakhs rupees if invested it in Bitcoin, right? What you can do, you can just sit back, find the rate of Bitcoin, rate of returns of Bitcoin, taking average of 3 years, and then you can just calculate, right? And you might say, sir, our calculation might not go right. None the calculation in finance can go right. It's like finance is not about finding the right answer. It's about doing less wrong answers. Okay, so estimation means there are certain estimation and the deviation must be less. Whenever you find any answer, like your answer should be close. That is our target, not like you can find exactly the answer. Okay, so likewise, let us also think that if we can apply this concept, finding the number of years in practical life, then it will be really easy. Okay, so moving on, how long will it take? There is a question, how long will it take to acquire 1 million, assuming we now have 500,000 invested at 4.5%? Did we do this question in the last class? No? Okay. So here is the formula method. Okay. So this is another question. This is okay. So inter IUIR, this is for financial calculator. Okay. This is for our formula method. Okay, and this is Excel method. Yesterday I taught you, right? In Excel, okay, let us do it. So what is the present value? Present value is minus 500. Okay. Future value future value is 1 million. Okay, and what is the rate? Rate is 4.5. Okay, it's also called I would say 0.045. Okay, next is number of years is what? It's given PMT payment is 0. Can you find n? It's simple, n per bracket rate. Okay, per month installment is 0, and future present value is negative 500,000, and future value is positive. So our answer is 15.74. As simple as that. Okay. Now you might have learned about, you might have heard about annuity table as well. Okay. So there is another one new, I would say, new way of finding the answer as well in these cases, especially in N, I would say. It is called annuity. Sorry, it's called time value of money tables. You can find annuity table likewise as well. So if you want to find annuity table, let me show you. Okay, so this is annuity table. Okay, I hope that it's visible. It's visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is called annuity table. It's very simple. It's just that what we are given is that it is finance. It's not mathematics, right? We are doing finance. So through this annuity table, they are trying to reduce our time of calculations. What we usually do is we sit back and we start to calculate. We start to take RHS into LHS, and then we are taking one value on the left and another value on the right, and then there is power as well. So this annuity table, what it does is that it multiplies interest and number of period. Okay, let me repeat. It just multiplies interest and number of period so that our calculations requirements are done. uh, it's not much necessary for us to do calculations. It's just the table of calculation. You can sit back at your home and also make these tables. Okay, just that in 1% how much period in one period one, and given that interest rate is 1%, then how much will be the present value factor. Okay, so you can see, let me explain you first. This is present value and future value tables. Okay. Wait, so present value and future value tables. Okay, so what it gives you, first table A.1 gives you future value interest factor for $1 compounded. If $1 is compounded at certain interest rates, what would be its value? Okay, $1 will be converted into certain amount. Okay, now you have I hope that you have understood the fact that today's $1's value is always higher whenever we move in the future. Okay, so these are future values of $1, and you can directly find the answer here. Let me give you an example. So what is the, if the question is what is the value of $1, given that it is compounded, what is the value of $1 after 1 year at the rate of 1%? If that is the question, value of $1 after 1 year, after 1 year. So value of $1 after 1 year. You can see in the period, right? So $1 and 1%. And this is the answer, 1.0100. You can calculate through your formula as well. Our formula was future value is equal to present value bracket 1 plus interest, isn't it? N to the power n. So n is 1, interest rate is 0.01, and then you can find likewise. So again, if somebody asks you a question, what is the rate of what will be the value of $1 after 5 years if the interest rate is 12%, right? So what would be the answer? See, percentage is 12, and 1 year is discounted for compounded for 5 years. So the value is simply 1.7632. As simple as that. And what you can usually do, $1 can be converted into $100 or $300. And if you know the answer of one, then you can know answer of any sum. Okay, is it clear? It's also no-brainer. I hope that you understood it. Shall I move forward? Guys, please respond.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Yes, sir, you can
Okay.
proceed further.
Okay, done. So, okay, let us move on. See, likewise, this is future value, right? So it was, now it is for annuity, annuity compounded. Okay. So annuity is something we have not discussed. We will be discussing. Simply annuity means if in the question that PMT means payment, right? Between present value and future value, if there involves any other payment, let me repeat, between future value and present value, if there occur, if there is any other payments, then that is called annuity. Okay. So this is table for annuity. Likewise, present value for ordinary and future value for ordinary inputs, and present value for annuity compounded and future value for annuity. There are 4 tables which I'm going to show you. So this one was future value for $1 compounded in a ordinary manner. Second, future value for $1 annuity compounded. Okay, and you can see, like, as if the question asks, what is the future value, what will be the future value of $1,000, $1 if it is compounded at the rate of 15% after 5 years, and the annuity and meanwhile the inflows for that particular case scenario is 100 per month. So if it is asked likewise, so then you have to see 15%. Okay, 15% for 5 years. So this is the factor you have to take into consideration. I hope it clears. Now let us move on. Next is present value and future value. This is present value for $1 discounted, normal $1 present value for $1. Next is present value of annuity. Okay, it's not included here. It is present value for annuity. So there are basic 4 tables. Let me clear. 2 for future value, 2 for present value, 1 for present value normal, 1 for future value normal, 1 for present value annuity, and 1 for future value annuity. Okay, so you can simply scroll this table and find the answer. So I already told you, whichever way you want to go to IBS, you can go from Sinamangal, you can go from Puranubhaniswar, right? Okay. Okay, let us do roll call. Okay. For others, please think about any queries you might have yet. I'd love to solve any confusions if you have. So let's start our roll call. I'm logging into the website. SS2021. Alex?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Archana? Okay. Ashish Parajuli. Okay. Dipesh Dulal. Okay. Ivan Shrestha.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Jeju Rai.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Marina Shrestha. Okay. Ninju Thapa.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Nishan Shrestha. Okay. Nishan. Ojasvi Shah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Prakriti Banjare.
Present, sir.
Okay. Prasamsa Silwal.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Praveen Khatri.
Present, sir. Present, sir.
Okay. Raman Shrestha. Okay. Ratnaprabha Thamang.
Present, sir.
Okay. Revishan Maharjan.
Present, sir.
Okay. Ritish Kumar. Okay. Rivaj Prasad Janji.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ronim Rana Magar. Okay. Satyam Shrestha. Is it Satyam? Okay. Salina Gising Tamang.
Present, sir.
Okay. Sarisma Silwal. Okay. Shekhar Paudel.
Present, sir.
Okay. Smith Sakya.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Saurabh Dogada. Okay. Unesh Giri. Okay. According to the attendance, we are 26 of us. Okay. Full house. Great, great. Okay, so I hope that you have understood it, understood the finding number of years. Okay, so I have shown you annuity table as well, so you can go to annuity table and calculate likewise. Okay, and in this formula, you have to calculate log. Do you know how to calculate through log? You might have done in optional maths or mathematics in
Yes,
class
sir.
2.
Log or IN.
You can do it through log. Okay, yeah, log.
Log or
Yeah,
IN.
log or ion. So here is true. So
Base
here is in. Okay, so this in, yeah, I to the power n will be calculated. You just have to understand one function of log. Okay, let me show you. And the question. Without demonstration, it is difficult to understand. I hope I know that. So future value is equal to present value to the bracket 1 plus n. Okay, bracket 1 plus n to the power, n 1 plus I to the power n. Okay, you can see that there here. Okay, so what can you do now? future value divided by present value. Here you can just copy this, paste here, and present value has been already taken to left hand side, so this is right hand side. Okay, still n is the power, so we cannot calculate it. We cannot calculate it in normal calculator, but what we can do, we can use log function. Okay, and we can find taking log on both sides, taking log on both sides. Okay, so you can find the value of PV and MB. Given in that question, what is the value of PV and MB? 500,000 divided by 1 million. Okay, 0.5. So yeah, so this is log. Do you know what is the rule of log? Anyone? What happens to this if we apply log?
So बेस 10 को बेसिसमा तपाईको जुन चाहिँ n पावर क्याप हुन्छ नि त्यो कम्पेरिजन गरेर अनि त्यसको उ आउने हो के जस्ट लाइक त्यो रुट अन्डरको ठ्याक्क अपोजिट भन्नु
Yeah, so you will get this, right? Base n log I plus I, 1 plus I. Okay, point. This is log 5. So you can simply now you can go through calculator. You can find the value of log 5, log 0.5, and then you can find the value of. No, this is, you guys did not correct me. Future value is 1 million.
त्यसमै तपाईले आरएचएस इक्वल टु के रे एलएचएस इक्वल टु आरएचएस गरेर देखाइदिनु भयो
Oh, yeah. LHS is equal to RHS. So this is log 2. It is not 0.5. Future value was 1 million. I was doing it in a wrong way. You guys did not correct me. It's more presence of mind. Okay. So log 2. So on the left hand side, this is log 2. Okay.
So your end product को फर्ममा जान्छ हैन
Now I think it's clear. Okay. Is it clear, Pratik, now? Right. LHS is equal to RHS. Now n, you have to find n. And to find n, you can simply, what you can do? You can do log 2 divided by log 2 divided by log. Can someone help me out? 1.045. Okay, so what is the answer?
Sorry, question. So 15.7 was
Perfect. Right? The answer is 15.75.
75.
So this is the answer. So is it difficult, guys? Is it difficult to do this? I don't think it is difficult. It's very simple. You just have to understand one function of log. That is, if there is one power, okay, here, okay, in this case, there was power n. So if you apply log, what happens is that power comes in front of log. So n log that, done, and you can find the answer. So, and value of log 2 and value of log 1.045, you can find that through scientific calculator. So I hope it answers problem. So I don't think we need to spend more time in this concept. Let's move on. Annuities. So there are a lot of implications of annuities. A lot of implications like house loans and auto loan, student loan, any kind of loan which involves series of payment. All EMIs are annuities. Okay, so any kind of outflows which goes in periodic basis, that is annuities. One, if you don't understand anything about annuities, please understand this. When payments are equal and made at fixed intervals, the series is an annuity. Okay, let me repeat. If the payments are equal and they are made at fixed intervals, let me give you an example. If we bought Hyundai i10, okay, and 70% is financed by bank, then 30% we pay upfront, our pocket money, 30% is financed by bank, right? So what happens is that we have to pay equal monthly installment to the bank. Is it clear? So that EMI amount of money is, they are equal. When payments are equal, those EMI are equal. Every month, similar amount of money goes to the bank and made at fixed interval. What we do usually do every month, fixed interval means we are going to pay at the end of Shravan, at the end of Bhadra, at the end of Asuj. Okay, fixed interval. It might be monthly, it might be quarterly, it might be annually, but the interval is fixed. The series is an annuity. Okay, so then that EMI, our EMI is called annuity. Okay, I hope it answers. So there are two types of annuity. One is ordinary annuity, another is annuity due. I have already mentioned a lot of times before, we are into this concept about annuity due, isn't it? So I have also stated the example down below. You can find there. So this is year zero. This is year zero. You can see this is year zero, and first year there was outflow of 100. We are depositing 100 rupees. Minus means outflow. Second year again outflow of 100. Third year outflow of 100. Now, according to the definition, when the payments are equal. So let me ask you, are payments equal?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right? Payments are equal. Made at fixed interval. Okay. So are we making these payments in fixed interval?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So as we move on from 0 year to first year, that counts to 1 year. From 1 to 2, that counts again 1 year. From 2 to 3, 1 year. That means that our fixed intervals definition is covered. Equal is also covered. The series is an annuity. Done. This is an annuity. Now, is it ordinary or annuity due? Now, see, same example. I have given you timeline, so you would never be confused regarding these two concepts. I already mentioned you ordinary annuity. In the case of ordinary annuity, 90 to 95% annuities all around the world is ordinary annuity. That means that, let me give you an example. I have already given. Let me reinstate the example. Bank gives us interest rates, isn't it? They give us interest rate at fixed interval, at fixed rate, right? Payment might be a little bit up and down because of interest rate, but rate is fixed and interval is also fixed. Okay, so that is ordinary annuity. Next, annuity due. In the case of annuity due, what happens? In the case of annuity due in advance, like in the first Shravan, for the month of Shravan, if you have to make a payment, you have to do in advance in first Shravan. I gave you an example of rent, one example of rent. Okay, most of the house owners ask us rent in advance, right? Likewise, if we are paid or we pay someone in advance our installment, in that case, this is the case of annuity due. Now you can see the difference between ordinary and annuity due. In 0 year, right? 0 year means at 0 year. 0 year means present. We are in the 0 year, right? In the 0 year itself, in the case of annuity due, payment starts. We have already paid $100. Okay, in the case of annuity due. But in the case of ordinary annuity, we are waiting for the end of year 1 because we always pay at the end. Okay, in the ordinary annuity. In the ordinary due, name is also due, right? So it dues in advance. I hope it answers. Any query regarding it?
So annuity basically calculates in 30 days होइन हाम्रो 30 दिनमा अब के फर्स्ट अफ द मन्थ कि इन अफ द मन्थमा क्यालकुलेसन गरिन्छ नि
Yeah.
अनि सर समटाइम्स कुनै कुनै मन्थ्समा 31-32 पनि हुन्छ कुनैमा 28 पनि हुन्छ नि अनि त्यस्तोलाई करेक्सन गरिन्छ नि हाम्रो चाहिँ एक्ज्याक्टली नम्बर अफ डेज पर इयरमा राखेर क्यालकुलेसन गर्छ कि अब त्यो डिभिजन चाहिँ कसरी गर्ने गर्छ हाउ दे करेक्ट इन फाइनेन्स
यस्तो हुन्छ लाइक होइन नम्बर अफ यस्तो लमसम कहिले नेभर नो वान क्यान डु लमसम्स के जस्तै ब्याङ्कहरूले इन्ट्रेस्ट रेट कति हामीले प्रोभाइड गर्छौँ भनेर वेन दे स्टेट outside the market, they usually mention fixed interest rate around 4%, 5%, right? But when they have to pay us, they are regulated by Nepal Rashtra Bank, okay, NRB. So they have to pay interest for every single day. So if the month is of 31, then they have to pay interest rate for 31. If the month is for 28, right? So they have to pay for 28. I already mentioned you last, I think in first class, I vividly remember that bank pay interest according to end of daily 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 balance. Okay, that might be at particular period of 11 at 11 p.m. Sorry, yeah, 11 p.m. or it might be average of whole day. Okay, it depends on bank, but they have to pay every day. Okay. Okay, let us do question. Okay, we'll understand the concept even better. Okay, annuities. So now there is a formula for annuity, ordinary annuity. So this is the formula. So you don't have to memorize the formula. It's really simple. We are just like dividing the formula into the parts. Let us take an example. In the case of, in the previous case, what was the outflow? There was 100, right? PMT means payment is 100. Interest is 1.05. It's already given. Here is 5, right? So interest is 1.05. And n is 3 minus 1. N means number of period, right? Our number of period is 3 years, isn't it? 3 years. So when you subtract 3 minus 1, then you get 2. That means that the first annuity would go long way to 2 years. So likewise, you can find the answer 2 and 3. Okay, here you 0, here you can see 1, and you can see here 2. This is a simple formula of annuity. So if you break down the formula and if you like find its summation, then you'll find the overall formula. PMT bracket 1 plus I to the power n minus 1 divided by I. This is overall formula, okay, of ordinary annuity. So solving this query, minus 100. Okay, can you please type this in your calculator? This one, F future value annuity n. Okay, please try it. Okay, it's really important. And this one as well, PMT per month installment and 1 plus I to the power n minus 1. Please calculate that. Moving forward, let's do one calculation. Test yourself for an ordinary due. Okay, so what is the question? For an ordinary annuity, I'll do first one. Shall I do first one or second one? Which one do you prefer? Waiting for your answer.
First one.
First one, okay. For an ordinary due with a 5 annual installments, what was the amount? 100, okay. Please, you have to read word by word, okay. You can find the hint of whether the value is, what is the factor of the value. For an annuity, for an ordinary annuity, it's already mentioned that it's an ordinary annuity. Okay, there are two types of annuity, right? Ordinary and due. Okay, so next is for an ordinary annuity with 5 annual payments of $100. How many payments? 5. And it's 5. EMT payment is 100. Okay, and 10% interest rate. Interest rate is given. That's 10%. Sorry, I one interest rate. How many years will the first payment on interest? Okay, for an ordinary annuity with 5 annual payments of 100. Okay, there are 5 annual payments of 100 and 10% interest rate. how many years will the first payment on interest? So it's a simple question. Like you can, there is no need of calculation in this year. So it just asks how many years the payment will on interest, right? So any answers from you? Answer is already reflected, but you, along with logic, can someone answer? Waiting for your answer, anyone? Why the answer is 4? You can see the answer 4, right? Why is it 4?
So mathematically calculation गर्दै गरेको नि means annuity the base के भनिरहेछ न
No. It's a straight answer. You don't need to, like, for the first one, how many, like, for how many periods will you get interest? Like, from the answer itself, you can, from the question itself, you can find the answer. It's just asking you how many years you will get the interest.
4
4, right?
सुरुको year त काउन्ट भयो के हुँदै भएपछि जाने नि त हैन र
Okay, yeah, true. Yeah, that was the answer I was looking.
भएपछि जाने भएको कारणले चाहिँ 4 वर्ष भएको
True. Okay, so I'll fix this. Okay. So next question is how many periods? That is 4 years. 4 years. Okay. So let me show you how. Okay, so this is the period, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. How many periods were there? 4 years, right? So, no, 5. There were 5 years. 5. So no, the payments were 5. So payment 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is our future value? Our PMT is 100. Okay, 100. 100. Okay, 100. You pay 100 every installments. You don't pay 100 right away. Let me erase it. Okay, wait. Sorry, we pay this interest at the end, right? 100. Let me change the color. 100, 100, 100, 100, and 100. Okay, this is these are PMTs. Another question was, what was the interest rate? 0.10. Okay, 0.10. This is the period 1 to 0.10. Okay, 10%. So next is what is the future value is the question, right? Always I recommend you guys to please always make timeline likewise, and then you can solve the question really easily. Okay, so for future value, the formula is future value, right? We already discussed in the last class. Present rate is 0.1, number of period is 5. Okay, and PMT is 4, present value is 0. Equal to future value, rate is 0.1. what will this payments value be at the end? Answer this same for the fifth installment. Okay, let me take you through another question. I'll come back to this question after a while, okay? I think there might be some problem with it. Let's move on. Future value of annuity due. We'll do both the questions together of annuity and annuity due, okay? So future value of an annuity due. For the future value of annuity due, each payment occurs at the end. All the payments each year for one additional period. So you might have understood it like for annuity due, what happens is that okay, so this is the period. These are the periods, sorry, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now what happens is that for annuity due, we pay interest right away from here, okay? We pay interest from here. So our interest is already, our interest is already due from here, okay? So one more period is covered in annuity due. But if it was ordinary annuity, then what would happen? In the case of ordinary annuity, we'd start interest from here, right? For the period of first year, and then for the period of second year, for the period of third year, for the period of fourth year. But for annuity due, we have already started generating interest from 0. Now you can assume what might be the difference between annuity and annuity due. First, we'll pay second installment here, third installment here, and fourth installment here. Now you can find that interest will be different in terms of compounding. The interest which is generated of year 0, interest which will be generated for year 1, they will be charged interest one more period, okay? So this period usually, where in terms of ordinary annuity, this was not available, okay? Now this interest will be available to us, right? Because our future value, we usually find future value here, right? We're in present value here. So if question asks that what will be the future value at the end of year 4, okay? For this period also, we'll move on to 1, 2, 3, 4 period. For this second payment, we'll move on to 1, 2, 3 periods, okay? But in the case of ordinary annuity, what happens is that from here we start, right? So what is the period for the first interest payment? 1, 2, 3 periods, right? So for the case of annuity due, it might be clear to you that there is always one interest cycle more than ordinary annuity. So now we get our formula of annuity due. Is it clear? See, we have just added one interest period, isn't it? Because we have received interest at the starting, at the advance, at the first period. Okay, so is it clear? Any questions? Waiting. I'm waiting for you guys. Okay. Any questions yet?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. For the given above example, now you see, for the above example, there was annuity of 315, right? There was a future value of annuity we found likewise. So the answer was 315.25. So you move down, then you just add 315 and one interest period, 1.05. That is simply put. Okay. Simply put, again, please understand, it is kind of confusing, as you will move forward. So for annuity due, please understand that annuity due starts from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 period. And another annuity, that is ordinary annuity, starts from here. Here, 1, 2, 3. So this period is more, right? So that is called 1 plus I. So what we usually do, we add ordinary annuity with 1, right? So simply we have done here. You can find here. Okay, so we simply add 315 with 1.05, we get the answer 331.01. Annuity to always have a higher value than an ordinary annuity. Never the case we will have lower value of annuity due than ordinary annuity because it has gone through one more period. Okay, now present value of an ordinary annuity, similar way of calculating present value, the way we have calculated, like for year 1, right? For year 1, we go back, we discount. Now that was compounding, now we'll start to discount. We have already done present value concept. So every dollars which we invest or dollar or any inflows which we get are discounted with certain interest rate, right? So meanwhile, in that process, we can do through this step-by-step method, like discount 100 by 5% for 1 year, discount 1 minus this, this 100 by 2 years, or discount this 100 by 3 years. You can do simply by step method, or you can compute formula as well. We have already found this formula, right? Last time we discussed in our present value class. When we divide 1 plus I by 1, then we get present value. Okay, so in the case of annuity, we replace future value by PMT, okay, per month installment, because in case of annuity we get constant payments in between, right? So this is the formula. You can compute likewise, and you can also try this. I request everyone to please try this with your calculator, and you will find the answer $252.32. Okay, so I don't think there is any confusion in ordinary annuity. Any confusion? We'll be doing questions about these all concepts as well. So you can apply these formula as well. Okay. Okay, moving down. This is your homework. Please do these questions. Okay, so next is finding annuity payments, periods, and interest rates. Out of any variable NI, PMT, FB, and PB, we can know any 4 and find 5th. Okay, and we have discussed about it. We have also calculated through Excel last time, and we can do through formula as well. I have taught you all of its kinds. Okay. Okay, so the Pva factor which I showed you earlier, there was Pva factor, right? This Pva factor is the table which I showed you earlier. Pva factor. So let us do this example as well. Jeremy borrows $4,461 at an interest rate of 8% per year, compounded semi-annually on each July 1st and January 1. He plans to make a 600 loan payment at the end of each semi-annual period. Assuming that the present time is January 1st, 2021, and the first loan payment will take place on July 1st, 2021. So how can we calculate this question? Let us start with timeline. Timeline is already given there. So you can find present value of annuity. What is the present value? Present value is 4461 given in the question. Second, interest rate of 8% per year. Okay, so every year we calculate through 8% interest every year. Okay, next is compounded semi-annually. Compounded semi-annually means now the period of application of rate is 6 months. Okay, the first period is 6 months, second is 6 months. Likewise, we see, you can see the figure 6 months, right? So the period is 6 months, and we are paying $600. He plans to make a $600 loan payment. These are outflows. These are per month, per 6 month, per semi-annual installments which we are paying back, right? These are equal investments. These are done every 6 months. Payment is fixed, period is fixed. So this is annuity question. At the end of each semi-annual period, assuming that the present time is January 1st, 2021. Our present period is January 1st, 2021. So we write here 2021. We add 6 months to January 1st, 2021. We find dates after that. Okay, payment will take place now, and the first loan payment will take place on July 1. Now, did you understand? This is a question of ordinary annuity or annuity due. Anyone?
So due.
How it is of annuity due?
How?
What made you think that it is of annuity due? Any specifics on the question?
So enough each semi-annual भनेको छ नि
Semi-annual ले छुट्याउँदैन नि त annuity due र ordinary due हैन
फर्स्ट के अरे प्रेजेन्ट फर्स्ट टेक प्लेस इन जुलाई 1st छ नि
Okay, you might have confused between January and July. Okay, it's written 1st July. Okay, so questions are tricky. You know, in questions, exams also, nobody will give you like simple questions. In practical life, also questions are a little bit difficult. It has written in the question the first loan payment, the first payment. Now that first payment differentiates us whether annuity is due or annuity is ordinary, isn't it? So the first loan payment will take place on July 1st, 2021. Our time started. Our present value of annuity is given at 1st January 2021, right? And payment starts at July 1st after 6 months. Now, what does it indicate? Ordinary or annuity due? I'm waiting for the answer. Pratik? Anyone else? Help me out, students. Please understand this concept. It's really, really, really important.
swap
Yes.
यस्तो तपाईको जुलाई 1st मा भनेको छ नि त के इन्ड अफ के अरे इन्स्टलमेन्ट त सुरुमा गर्ने भनेको छ नि हामीले त्यसैले एन्युटी ड्यू
Yeah. Yeah. So the first payment or first installment is done after the end of the period, right? Or after the first installment. That means on at July 1st. Okay. So it is ordinary annuity. If question had told us that the first payment starts from 1st January, then it would be annuity due. Okay. Please don't get confused regarding annuity due and normal one. Okay, so this is present value of annuity 4461. Now you see I showed you Pva factor. Okay, I showed you table last time at the start of this class. So PMT per month installment is 600. So here we have to find Pva factor of annuity. Okay, our interest rate is, what is the percentage? 8%. Okay, and period is 6 months. No, total period is okay. We are finding PBA factor here. Okay, so we have given PMT, we have been given PVA. The question asks us our future value is 0. When will the balance is 0? Okay, our future value is also given as at 0. So assuming that the present time is January 1 and the first loan payment will take place on January 1st, when will the balance be 0? It is asking us when is the time, or n. It is asking us number of period. Okay, and it's being asked. So we are trying to find PVA factor, because in the PVA factor there are rates and n. So if we divide PVA by PMT, then we get 7.435. Okay, so PVA factor is 7.435. So what we will do is that we will browse that table which I showed you earlier, 7.435. We will go to the table. Annuity table. Okay, so future value of annuity, it is not the future value question. Okay, future value of $1 annuity, right? Okay, present value is given, so future value interest factors. So this here we must find the answer. Okay, so our interest rate is 8%, right? And at 8% we will search for this value 7.435. Okay. 7.435. So at the interest rate of, what is the rate? Rate of 8%. Okay. So here we will search for 7.435. 7.3359. Okay. Future value of interest factor for $1 compounded. This is annuity. I think this. There might be a problem with this annuity table. Where you must look is that you must go to this annuity table and future value annuity. Go to period and then find questionnaire. Okay. Here is written 7.435. We have to search that in the table, but there must be. I think this table might have problem, but where you can look is that you can go to the future value annuity table, and when you see in the period of 8%, and you will search here. You will search here, okay. And while you go through vertical lines, then you will find the answer, and the answer must be here. But this table is, there is problem with this table. I'll find the appropriate table and I'll share with you. Okay, later on. You must know how to do it. Okay, so rather than, yeah, I'll show you in another class this one as well. 7.435, search this in the table, and as you will find that value there, then you will know what is the period. So then you will find 9 on the sides, okay, on the left hand side. Then as you will find the 9, then that is our semi-annual period. You can divide that and you can find the answer. Okay, as we solve for the time, we can solve it for the interest. Now same wise as present value factor, this PVA factor is composition of time and rate, right? So if we can find time, then we can find the rate as well. Is it clear? I've also given note that PV present value, future value, and PV annuity due is different. Okay. Okay, so let us solve one or two questions. Any confusion yet? Anyone? The issue is, sorry for technical glitches, guys. Okay. suit. Okay, we'll solve question as well. I'll fix that issue. Something's happening. On the last class, we'll discuss. We'll do only questions. Okay. Before that, let's end the theories part. Now, the last concept I would say for us is perpetuities. Apart from that, other all are adjustment to the classes. So, any confusion? Shall we move ahead? Sorry for the technical glitches, that issue with Excel file and also the issue with Annuity Table. I'll be sharing both of those in upcoming session. Okay. So shall I move forward with perpetuity, or what shall I? Today everyone is so silent.
So हुन्छ अगाडि बढ्नुस् न तपाई.
Okay. So perpetuity भनेको चाहिँ अस्ति मैले I had given you example as well. Oscar awards, Nobel Peace Prize, these installments are usually done. That concept is called perpetuity. If you don't know the time period, okay, then it is called perpetuity. Like a perpetuity is simply an annuity with extended life, right? It has extended period of time. Because the payments goes on forever. The payment will go till perpetuity. Let us take an example. You buy preferred stock in a company that pays you a fixed dividend of $2.50 each year. Discount rate on the preferred stock is 10%. You are going to get a 10%, okay, rate for perpetuity, because it has not given in the question that you are going to like sell the stocks or you are not transferring the stock to someone else. There is nothing mentioned in the question, right? So it is a question of perpetuity, because question has directly stated what is the present value of perpetuity, but there are certain cases where time period is not given. So you have to understand this is the question of perpetuity. Like if the payment continues forever, these kind of terms, or if the question mentions that what will be the value after the period, or if the period is not specified, right? So that kind of questions are of perpetuities. Okay, so simply put, PMT means a payment which the periodic payment which you do, PMT divided by interest rate, then you find present value of perpetuity. Okay, we usually find present value of perpetuity because it continues. We cannot find future value at certain period of time. So what we usually do is we want to find that what is the value of this particular perpetuity for today, so that we can take correct decisions. Okay. So any confusion on perpetuity? It is very simple concept now. I think you might have good grasp of concept. Okay, uneven cash flows. Now, regarding uneven cash flows, the definition of uneven cash flows means for one period you get a cash flow of, for example, 100. For another period, you get an example of, you get a cash flow of 200. Let me give you an example. Okay, so let us draw one timeline of 4 years, 3, 2, 1, 0. So if you pay $100 here, pay $200 at the end of second year, and 300 at the end of third year, and at the 400 at the end of fourth year. So it is called uneven cash flows. Cash outflows or inflows, it doesn't matter. But what matters is that cash flows are uneven. They are 100, there are 200. So this is not the case of annuity, isn't it? Because cash flows are different. So what shall we do? Now you see, the problem with it is that we cannot solve it by formula. It is really difficult for us to solve. To understand why? There are a lot of payments, right? A lot of different payments. So the only way to calculate these cash flows for these uneven payment is that we have to discount it individually. There is no any other way. We have to discount it individually. Like you have to bring 200, you have to bring 300, then you have to discount 400. You cannot find direct formula to do that. Okay, so this is all you need to know. If the question has given there is uneven cash flow, then you just have to do it. Solve the question individually, individual to those uneven cash flows. But there are certain questions where there are annuities and there is one final payment, maximum time, like you pay interest and at the end you get some payment, or there are inflows or dividends in the company, right, every single month, and at the sorry, every single year, and at the end, maybe after 10 years or 15 years, you might get lump sum of bond. It is an example of bond when bond matures or debenture matures. These are the examples of class A, class A of these uneven cash flows. There are two types of classes. One is class A and class B. The example which I showed, this is a class B. It doesn't have any sequence. All the payments are uneven and there is no any sequence. But in class A, if there is annuity, let me give you an example. If this was $100, okay, this was also $100, and this was also $100, this was also, sorry, and at the end, this is annuity, right? Equal in first year, period is equal, payment amount is equal. So this is annuity. But question also mentions that at the end, the person is paid 400. Okay, so now annuity plus 400. This is the class A kind of uneven cash flows. Okay. Now the classic example is dividend investment in capital equipment, and this concept you can carry down further in further chapters as well. So example of class A is bonds. I already gave you an example. Example of class B is stocks. You never know how much dividend you are going to receive, isn't it? Let us give you an example. Let me give you an example. Nobel Bank gave a dividend of around 35% shares dividend, right? Let us assume it gave 1% of cash dividend. So that dividend was never equal to whatever it gave previous year, isn't it? And in the case of stocks, you never get one lump sum amount, right, from the company. You just get dividend from the company, isn't it? So it continues for the certain period of time, right? So these are uneven cash flows. Stock capital investment, right? So these are uneven cash flows. Any confusion in this uneven cash flows? Calculation is same, we have already studied. So you have to do individual calculation. If you have to find present value, place one formula for present value here, another for here, another for here, and another for here. But if it is a case of annuity, calculate annuity, okay, calculate present value or future value of annuity, and just add it with one calculation, right? Simple. If there is sequence, then just calculate formula for annuity and add one uneven cash flow. But if there are no any sequences, then you just have to pick each cash flow and find the answer. Okay, so here is an example. You can see in the figure. Okay, so this one is first cash flow. So these are all uneven. Do you see that, right? These are uneven cash flows, isn't it? So you have to find present value of each stream, okay, individually. There is no any other way. So that is the hard way, okay. So if these all annuities or these all payments would be same, for example, this 100 was also same, that what you could have done is that for these all payments, for payments 1, 2, 3, 4, for 4 payments you could have calculated annuity, and for 5 you could have done individually. You could get $283.71 for present value of 5th uneven cash flow, and for those other even annuities 1, 2, 3, 4, if that was the case of $300 on each in the each year, then you could apply present value of annuity. So you add present value of annuity with present value of uneven cash flow. So is it clear? So theoretically, please be clear about the concept. Calculation will do, calculation of each concepts will do on the next class, okay? And also please try to do these homeworks as well. Now I think you can do any problem of annuities. there must not be any kind of issue. I showed you how to solve it through Excel. I also demonstrated you how to solve it through financial calculator. You know how to do it through normal calculations as well. So there must not be issue. Okay, now this is the same case, future value, like you have to compound, like you discounted it. Okay. Now again, solving I, you can go through these slides and you can find the answer. Solving for I, same way to do it. IRR. Semi-annual and other compounding periods. We already mentioned that there are two calculations which you do. Whenever there is a semi-annual period, rate is divide. We divide the rates, right? Here we have written. We divide the rate by 2 if it is semi-annual, by 4 if it is quarter, by 365 it is daily, and by 1 if it is annual. We divide the rate because our period of compounding is different. So our period of compounding is not year. N is not is equal to year. N is different in case of semi-annual, right? N into 2. We have to multiply by 2 because we compound twice, right? That is the period of compounding. So likewise, when we are going to get that interest at semi-annual period, then we get interest rate divided by 2, right? Because interest rate is usually in annual form. So you can see the examples. It's really simple. We have already discussed about it in the class. And please do these homeworks, all the questions, since weekend is here. Okay, so about this, we'll discuss comparing interest rate in next class. Okay, I have already exceeded time. So any final words? Any queries? Any suggestions? I'm waiting for you to answer. Anyone?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
guys. Sorry for technical glitches. Some of the things I want to fix next class is that number one, I will bring annuity table. Okay, which is correct one. I don't know from where I got that. I'll bring that from proper source. Second one is that you will see less technical glitches. Okay. And third, thank you for listening. And I wish, I hope that weekend is near. So everyone, please do homeworks. I have, for your convenience, I have inculcated all the questions in the slide itself. Please go through it. And if you have any confusion, let me know. And the final class, in the upcoming class, we will be solving questions, okay, regarding most of the concepts which we have discussed. So apart from that, please do your assignment. Deadline is Monday. Okay, I'll not extend any period because for a ratio analysis, it just takes around 4 hours at most if you diligently do it. Okay, so hope to see your assignment by 14th, and I'll solve that issue of issue which issue that you cannot access that assignment. Okay, as soon as today itself, within 1 or 2 hours.
Sir,
So yes, Archana.
without opening it, we can't know the question, right? So we can't see the
Yeah, I'll
question.
fix it.
Okay.
Also, I'll fix it today itself within 2-3 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much. Sorry for the
Thank you.
glitches. Have a nice weekend. Bye bye.
Have a nice day, sir.
Good morning, class.
Good morning, ma'am.
Okay, let's wait for a couple of minutes more. Let others join too, and we'll begin with our class.
Okay, ma'am.
Let's begin with attendance, please. Alex. Alex. Archana.
Present, ma'am.
Ashish.
Yes, ma'am.
Dipesh.
Yes, ma'am.
Evan.
Yes, ma'am.
Jeju. Jeju. Jeju is absent. And Merina. Okay, present. Ninju.
Yes, ma'am.
Nisan. Okay, present. Ojasvi. Ojasvi. Prakriti.
Present, ma'am.
Prasamsa. Okay, present. Praveen.
Present, ma'am.
Raman.
Uh,
Raman present. Ratnaprabha.
Present, ma'am.
Revisan.
Present, ma'am.
Ritiz. Okay, present. Rivaj.
Yes, ma'am.
Ronim.
Yes, ma'am.
Saksham.
Yes, ma'am.
Salina.
Present, ma'am.
Sarisma.
Yes, ma'am.
Shekhar. Shekhar. Smith.
Yes, ma'am. Smith present.
Okay. Swarup. Present. Eunice. Present. Okay.
Excuse me, ma'am. I'm also present. Ojasvi.
Ojasvi. Present.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
म्याम त्यो म्याम
One
शेखर पनि प्रेजेन्ट छ अरे म्याम त्यो रिकनेक्टिङ हुँदैछ मेरो गएको कनेक्ट हुँदैछु भन्दै थियो
Shekhar. Okay.
हजुर शेखर पौडेल
Prasamsa absent नै छ है?
प्रसम चाहिँ छ नि
Prasamsa. Okay, present. Jeju. Okay, thank you everyone. Shekhar also joined. Thank you. Now let me share slides. So last class we have already done about inventory management techniques or how we do it. We learned about various terms that we use while doing the inventory management and different levels are study them. Reorder label, the minimum stock label, maximum stock label, average stock label, अनि सेफ्टी स्टक कति हुन्छ हाम्रो डेन्जर स्टक कतिमा पुग्यो भने that stock becomes our danger level भने धेरै खालको termsहरू we have learned and done the respective calculations पनि अनि now we'll have to move to another concept of accounting for labor हैन before moving that एक दुईटा कन्सेप्टहरु छ which we will be doing in a couple of slides and then we'll be starting with entirely new session for today which is accounting for labor. Labor को accounting चाहिँ हामीले कसरी गर्छौं भने that we will do. Inventory control. The main objective of inventory control is to achieve maximum efficiency in production and sales with the minimum investment in inventory. Inventory मा minimum invest नगरिकन हैन एकदम stock लाई pile up नगरिकन company को operations पनि smooth हो efficiency पनि maximize होस् objectively that is the objective of inventory control and inventory control गर्नलाई चाहिँ we apply two kinds of techniques हैन एउटा चाहिँ two bin system हो अनि अर्को भनेको चाहिँ ABC analysis हो है there are two techniques applied for inventory control which are two bin system and ABC analysis. Two bin system and ABC analysis भनेको that we will do. Two bin system, under the system each bin is divided into two parts, smaller and larger. Small parts should stock the quantity equal to the minimum stock or even the reordering level, and larger part of the stock, larger part they stock the remaining quantity. Issues are made out of the larger part, but as soon as it becomes necessary to use the quantity out of the bin, fresh order is placed. Right? Two bin system भने चाहिँ के हो भन्दाखेरि we have two different kinds of bin, एउटा ठुलो bin, larger bin, एउटा smaller bin, or एउटा ठुलो compartment छ भने एउटा bigger compartment, एउटा सानो compartment हैन सानो compartment मा चाहिँ we that put त्यहाँ चाहिँ reorder level को quantity 4000 units हाम्रो reorder level हो भने 4000 units त्यहाँ store गर्छौं अनि बाँकी भएको inventory चाहिँ अर्को bigger section of the bin मा store गर्छौं हैन अनि अनि हामीले युज चाहिँ कहाँबाट गर्न सुरु गर्छौं bigger बाट युज गर्न सुरु गर्छौं हैन अनि bigger bin को क्वान्टिटी सकिएर स्मल bin को क्वान्टिटी युज गर्ने बेला आयो भने we should हामीले चाहिँ के सिग्नल पाउँछौं भन्दाखेरि हामीले सानो bin को क्वान्टिटी युज गरिराछौं भने चाहिँ we have reached the reorder level so अब चाहिँ नयाँ order purchase order गर्नुपर्छ भनेर we go into that हैन so two bin system ले चाहिँ के गर्छ भने इन्भेन्टरी लाई इफेक्टिभली म्यानेज गर्न हेल्प गर्छ ठुलो bin को क्वान्टिटी सकिने बित्तिकै we'll have to use सानो bin को raw material and सानो bin को raw material use गर्न थाल्नु भनेको we have reached the reorder level so we should begin with purchase requisition purchase order गर्दै हामीले इन्भेन्टरी मगाउन चाहिँ लाग्नुपर्छ है so this is one of the ways of controlling inventory two bin system अर्को भनेको ABC एनालाइसिस हो हैन इन्भेन्टरीलाई चाहिँ क्याटेगोराइज गर्ने ABC मा अनि ABC क्याटेगोरीमा भएको इन्भेन्टरीजहरुलाई डिफरेन्ट स्ट्र्याटेजिज डिफरेन्ट टेक्निक्स लगाएर चाहिँ त्यसलाई प्रपरली फ्याक्ट्रीमा राख्ने एन्ड देन त्यसलाई युज गर्ने है सो ABC एनालाइसिसमा इन्भेन्टरी क्लासिफाइड इन्टु थ्री क्याटेगोरीज A category, B category and C category. A category मा चाहिँ consist of only 10% of inventories handled by the store but are of about 70% of inventory value. एक क्याटेगोरीमा चाहिँ एकदम त्यो धेरै भ्यालु होल्ड गर्ने हैन सपोज त्यो कम्प्युटर बनाउने कम्पनी हो भने त्यो माइक्रोचिप प्रोसेसर अनि जुन त्यो एकदम सानो तर एकदम हाई भ्यालुको इन्भेन्टरीज हुन्छ नि त्यो प्रोडक्ट र मेटेरियल हुन्छ त्यो चाहिँ एक क्याटेगोरीमा पर्छ हैन दे डोन्ट टेक मच अफ द स्पेस हैन 10% अफ द इन्भेन्टरीज हुन्छ जस्ट 10% अफ द भोल्युम बट दे हैव 70% अफ द भ्यालु तर उनीहरुको इकोनोमिक भ्यालु मोनेटरी भ्यालु हेर्यो भने 70% हुन्छ है त्यस्तो क्याटेगोरी को इन्भेन्टरीलाई वी कीप दैट इन A category. B category मा चाहिँ ठिक्कको है, consists of about 20% of the total items handled by the store and about 20% of the inventory value. So B category मा चाहिँ त्यस्तो आइटम्सहरू हुन्छ हैन, जुन चाहिँ 20% of value inventory items हुन्छ, and then 20% नै के हुन्छ त त्यसको value हुन्छ. C category मा चाहिँ consists of about 70% of the total items handled by the store but are only up 10% of the inventory value. Suppose चाहिँ कम्प्युटरको एक्जाम्पल गर्दै गर्दा त्यो कभरहरू भयो हैन, बाहिरको जुन एक्सटेरियर हुन्छ स्टिलको अर जुन त्यो बाहिरको त्यो मोनिटरलाई कभर बाहिरको एरिया हुन्छ त्यो सबै धेरै भोल्युममा हुन्छ बट यसको भ्यालु कम हुन्छ हैन. सो consists of about 70% of the total items handled by the store but are of only 10% of the inventory value है. धेरै स्पेस कभर गर्ने तर थोरै भ्यालु हुने इन्भेन्ट्री चाहिँ क्याटेगोरी सी मा पर्छ. क्याटेगोरी सी मा धेरै नै ड्यामेज, धेरै मिसह्यान्डलिङ ड्यामेज भए पनि थोरै अमाउन्टको मात्र लस हुन्छ. तर ए क्याटेगोरीको सामानहरूलाई प्रपरली हामीले स्टोर गरेन, त्यसलाई प्रपरली राखेन भने अलिकति ड्यामेज हुँदै गर्दाखेरि पनि धेरै मोनिटरी लस हुन्छ. सो इट्स भेरी नेसेसरी टु क्लासिफाई the inventory into various categories. अनि हरेक क्याटेगोरीको लागि डिफ्रेन्ट काइन्ड अफ स्ट्राटेजिज युज गर्न सकिन्छ. अब कसरी कुन कन्डिसनमा त्यसलाई राख्ने हो हैन, that kind of decisions can be made. A category of items can be controlled effectively by applying regular system which ensures neither stocking or shortage of materials. Control mechanisms are also different for category B and category C. Category A लाई पनि properly manage effectively store गरेर राख्नुपर्छ. अनि ए क्याटेगोरीको सामानको भ्यालु धेरै हुने भएको भएर धेरै एकचोटि स्टोर गर्नु चाहिँ इट्स रिस्की हैन. एउटा चाहिँ धेरै सामान त्यसको स्टक धेरै लिएर आउँदाखेरि विल इन्कर एकदम धेरै इन्भेस्टमेन्ट हैन, त्यो इन्भेस्टमेन्ट युज नहुँदाखेरि स्टक भएर बसिरहेको छ, हाम्रो अपर्च्युनिटी कस्ट मिस भइरहेको हुन्छ भने यस्तो हाई भ्यालुको यो र मटेरियल्सहरूलाई राख्दाखेरि स्टोर गर्नलाई एक्सपेन्सेसहरू इन्कर भइरहेको हुन्छ. एन्ड थर्ड कुरा चाहिँ यस्तो हाई भ्यालु अफ इन्भेन्ट्री कम्पनीभित्र राख्दाखेरि सेक्युरिटी रिजन्सले पनि थ्रेट हुन्छ हैन, थेफ्टको अनि चोरी डकैती हुने चान्सेसहरू पनि हुन्छ. सो एबिसी एनालाइसिस गर्दाखेरि वी ट्राई टु क्याटेगोराइज inventories into different categories depending upon their the value and the quantity they hold हैन, the area they cover, ABC गरेर. अनि यो तीनटै क्याटेगोरीको लागि we to take the different strategies है. So this is all यो इन्भेन्ट्रीको पार्टको लागि. इन्भेन्ट्री म्यानेजमेन्ट सिस्टम कन्ट्रोलको इन्भेन्ट्री कन्ट्रोलमा के छ, दुईटा सिस्टम छ, टुबिन सिस्टम एन्ड एबिसी एनालाइसिस. यसरी चाहिँ we do the inventory control है. अर्को भनेको अकाउन्टिङ फर लेबर हो है. अब लेबरको अकाउन्टिङ किन इम्पोर्टेन्ट छ भन्दाखेरि दिस इज द अमाउन्ट पेड टु द म्यान पावर हु डिरेक्टली एन्ड इन्डाइरेक्टली इन्भल्भ इन द म्यानुफ्याक्चरिङ प्रोसेस अफ एन अर्गनाइजेसन. अब लेबर भने चाहिँ के हो त भन्दाखेरि the people, the workers, the employees that work inside an organization हैन, अनि they try to convert that raw material into the finished goods हैन. त्यो सबैमा प्रोसेसमा इन्भल्भ हुने जति पनि इम्प्लोइज, वर्कर्स, जति पनि ह्युमन रिसोर्स, दे आर अल लेबर हैन. लेबर कस्ट इज क्लासिफाइड एज डाइरेक्ट एन्ड इन्डाइरेक्ट. लेबर कस्ट चाहिँ के हुन्छ, डाइरेक्ट एन्ड इन्डाइरेक्ट दुवै हुन्छ है. डाइरेक्ट भन्नाले चाहिँ दे आर दोज ह्युमन रिसोर्स हु आर डाइरेक्टली इन्भल्भ इन प्रोडक्सन प्रोसेस हैन, डाइरेक्टली नै इन्भल्भ छ प्रोडक्सन प्रोसेसमा भने त्यो चाहिँ लेबर डाइरेक्ट कस्ट भयो, डाइरेक्ट लेबर कस्ट हैन. त्यो चाहिँ फ्याक्ट्रीमै इन्भल्भ छ, प्याकिङमै इन्भल्भ छ, त्यो सामानहरूलाई प्रोसेस गर्नमा इन्भल्भ छ भने त्यो के भयो, त्यो डाइरेक्ट भयो. इन्डाइरेक्ट भनेको अपार्ट फ्रम प्रोडक्सन डिपार्टमेन्ट पनि, त्यही प्रोडक्सन डिपार्टमेन्ट पनि सेक्युरिटी पर्सनल हुनसक्छ हैन, अब अरू एडमिनिस्ट्रेसनको पर्सन हुनसक्छ. अनि त्यो सबै एन्ड देन प्रोडक्सन डिपार्टमेन्ट बाहिर सेल्स डिपार्टमेन्टको मान्छे, एडमिनिस्ट्रेसन डिपार्टमेन्टको मान्छे हुनसक्छ, मार्केटिङको हुनसक्छ, डिस्ट्रिब्युसनको हुनसक्छ, अनि त्यस्तै मिडिया, अनि त्यसपछि आरएनडी, धेरै डिपार्टमेन्टको पिपल माइट बी इन्गेज्ड हैन. अनि त्यो सबै दोज लेबर, दोज ह्युमन रिसोर्स हु आर नट डाइरेक्टली इन्भल्भ इन प्रोडक्सन प्रोसेस आर कल्ड इन्डाइरेक्ट लेबर हैन. अनि लेबर कस्ट इज वान अफ द मेजर कस्ट इन म्यानुफ्याक्चरिङ एन्ड सर्भिस इन्डस्ट्रिज अफ कोर्स हैन. अब यो म्यानुफ्याक्चरिङ बेस्ड इन्डस्ट्रिज अर सर्भिस बेस्ड इन्डस्ट्रिजमा चाहिँ लेबर कस्ट होल्स वान अफ द मेजर कस्ट होइन स्पेसली 3टा कस्ट एसोसिएटेड हुन्छ मटेरियल लेबर एन्ड ओभरहेड अनि म्यानुफ्याक्चरिङ र सर्भिस इन्डस्ट्रिजको केसमा मटेरियल जतिकै इम्पोर्टेन्ट लेबर पनि हुन्छ देयर इज need to exercise maximum care to minimize this cost. Minimizing cost doesn't mean reducing cost, but means getting optimal and efficient productivity from the employees. न यसको मिनिङ के हो भन्दाखेरि लेबर भने अरू कस्ट जस्तो होइन मटेरियल मसिन जस्तो होइन लेबर इज ह्युमन बिङ होइन ह्युमन बिङ सँगसँगै के हुन्छ ह्युमन इमोसन्स हुन्छ ह्युमन कन्साइन्स हुन्छ अनि ह्युमन बिङ वर्क मोर प्रोडक्टिभ वेन दे आर हाइली मोटिभेटेड होइन ह्युमन बिङ भने चाहिँ हार्ड एन्ड फास्ट रुल लगायो भने वी क्यानट गेट हाई लेभल अफ आउटपुट फ्रम देम होइन सो यसमा चाहिँ अलिकति ट्रिकी के हुन्छ भनेपछि वी वुड बी रादर रेडी टु इन्क्रिज द लेबर कस्ट होइन लेबर कस्टलाई बढाएर पनि उनीहरूको इफिसियन्सी प्रोडक्टिभिटीलाई इन्हान्स गर्न सक्यो भने वी क्यान गेट द क्वालिटी आउटपुट्स वी क्यान गेट ह्युज नम्बर अफ आउटपुट एट अ सर्ट पिरियड अफ टाइम जसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ हाम्रो ओभरअल कस्ट अफ प्रोडक्सन चाहिँ लेस हुन जान्छ पर युनिट प्रोडक्सन लेस हुन जान्छ सो अनलाइक मटेरियल एन्ड अदर ओभरहेड कस्टिङ यसमा चाहिँ हार्ड एन्ड फास्ट रुल लगाएर जबरजस्ती भए पनि यसको लेबर पेमेन्टको कस्ट घटाउनुपर्छ भन्ने हुँदैन वी वुड अल्सो बी रेडी होइन इभन रेडी टु इन्क्रिज द लेबर कस्ट लेबर कस्ट इन्क्रिज हुँदै गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ के हुन्छ त हाम्रो प्रोडक्टिभिटी इन्हान्स हुने चान्सेस हुन्छ बिकज लेबर भने चाहिँ इट्स ह्युमन बिङ होइन इट्स भेरी नेसेसरी for them to keep motivated so that they work for the organization by taking the responsibility and full ownership. So while doing accounting for labor we not just our objective is not just trying to cut the labor cost होइन हाम्रो objective भने चाहिँ के हुनुपर्छ त भन्दाखेरि the efficiency and productivity of employees लाई enhance गर्ने चाहिँ हाम्रो strategy हुनुपर्छ है so importance of labor cost के छ भन्दाखेरि correct determination of product cost. Labor cost constitutes a major part of the cost of product or services. Labor cost चाहिँ के हुन्छ कुनै पनि प्रडक्टको मेजर कस्ट हुन्छ हामीले मटेरियल कस्ट लेबर कस्ट ओभरहेड कस्ट गरेर पनि गर्छौँ होइन गरेर वी ट्राई टु क्यालकुलेट द कस्ट अफ प्रोडक्सन अनि कस्ट अफ प्रोडक्सन निकाल्नको लागि लेबरको इलिमेन्ट मिसिङ भयो भने that doesn't give a good picture है त्यो भएर प्रोडक्सन कस्टमा प्रोडक्सन कस्ट करेक्टली डिटर्मिन गर्नको लागि वी लेबर कस्ट इज भेरी इम्पोर्टेन्ट कस्ट कन्ट्रोल बाई कम्पेयरिङ एक्चुअल कस्ट विथ बजेट एन्ड स्ट्यान्डर्ड कस्ट अफ द लेबर हाम्रो स्ट्यान्डर्ड कति छ हाम्रो बजेटमा कति अलोकेट गर्ने भनेको थियो अनि एक्चुअलमा हामीले कति गर्यो होइन सो त्यो कम्पेयर गरेर it helps to control the cost planning and decision making and it also helps in planning and decision making अब unskilled employees को लागि कस्तो strategies लिने skilled employees को लागि कस्तो strategies लिने सबै planning decision making गर्ने काम चाहिँ यो लेबर कस्टले चाहिँ हेल्प गर्छ बेस फर अपर्च्युनिटी ओभरहेड्सलाई डिफ्रेन्ट डिपार्टमेन्टमा कुन डिपार्टमेन्टमा कति मसिन युज भयो कुन डिपार्टमेन्टमा कति एक्सपेन्डिचर बुक गर्ने त्यो अपर्च्युनिमेन्ट गर्नको लागि पनि यो लेबर कस्टले हेल्प गर्छ अनि सिस्टम अफ वेजेस पेमेन्ट है वेजेस पेमेन्ट हामीले लेबरलाई पेमेन्ट गर्ने पेमेन्ट लेबरलाई जति पनि पेमेन्ट गर्छौँ हामी त्यसलाई सबैले के भन्छ त वेज भनेर ज्याला भनेर भन्छ नेपालीमा है अनि त्यो लेबरहरूले पे गर्ने अमाउन्टलाई चाहिँ हामी के भन्छौँ त वेजेस भन्छौँ है एन्ड देयर आर टु काइन्ड्स अफ सिस्टम अफ वेजेस पेमेन्ट फर्स्ट भने चाहिँ पिस वेज सिस्टम हो एन्ड सेकेन्ड भने चाहिँ टाइम वेज सिस्टम हो है अनि पिस वेज सिस्टम र टाइम वेज सिस्टम दुई डिफ्रेन्ट काइन्ड्स अफ सिस्टम छ अनि पिस वेज सिस्टम नामले नै हेर्दा पिस वेज सिस्टम भनेर चाहिँ नि होइन सो दिस काइन्ड अफ सिस्टम हेल्प त्यो यसले चाहिँ के गर्छ त भन्दाखेरि इम्प्लोइलाई अकर्डिङ टु द लेभल अफ प्रोडक्सन होइन उनीहरूले कति प्रोडक्सन गर्न सक्यो उनीहरूले कति आउटपुट निकाल्यो त्यो बेसिसमा चाहिँ पे गर्छ पिसको बेसिसमा होइन कति आउटपुट आयो अनि हाउ कति आउटपुट चाहिँ तिमीले प्रड्युस गर्यो कम्पनीभित्र होइन कुनै इम्प्लोइले कति गर्यो एले 20 युनिट गर्यो भने 20 युनिटको हिसाबले बीले 50 युनिट्स प्रड्युस गर्यो भने 50 युनिट्सको हिसाबले त्यसरी चाहिँ पिस वेज सिस्टम डिटर्मिन हुन्छ एन्ड टाइम वेज सिस्टम इज अकर्डिङ टु द टाइम होइन कति टाइम स्पेन्ड गर्यो कम्पनीमा त्यो हिसाबले चाहिँ टाइम वेज सिस्टम पनि क्यालकुलेट हुन्छ अनि पिस वेज सिस्टममा अन्डर द सिस्टम वर्कर्स आर पेड अन द बेसिस अफ द आउटपुट प्रड्युस्ड Hold on for a minute. I'm having a phone call. It's very important call, so I don't miss गर्न चाहिँ मिल्दैन. I'll just be right back. Hello. So piece weight system है. Sorry for the disturbance. अनि I think आजको क्लास चाहिँ अलि अर्ली लिभ गर्नुपर्छ since मलाई चाहिँ एकछिन अर्जेन्टली यो अक्सिजन प्लान्ट इन्स्टल गर्नको लागि चाहिँ निस्किनु पर्ने छ. We are working on COVID response.
Okay.
So let's do piece-weight system. Under the system, workers are paid on the basis of the output produced. The system does not consider the time spent by the workers. It is also known as payment by result or output. The total wages earned by a worker is calculated by using the following formula. अब यो सिस्टममा चाहिँ वर्करले कति युनिट्स अफ आउटपुट प्रड्युस गर्यो त्यो बेसिसमा चाहिँ उसले पेमेन्ट पाउँछ. अनि जस्तो कति टाइम स्पेन्ड गर्यो फ्याक्ट्रीभित्र द्याट्स इरिलेभेन्ट होइन. अब कुनै इम्प्लोइ छ जसले चाहिँ कम्पनीमा 10 घन्टा काम गरिरहेछ बट हि इज प्रोड्युसिङ ओन्ली 5 युनिट्स होइन. अनि कुनै इम्प्लोइ छ जो चाहिँ 2 घन्टा मात्र काम गरिरहेछ तर हि इज प्रोड्युसिङ 10 युनिट्स भन्यो भने त्यो 10 युनिट्स अब 10 युनिट्सको चाहिँ पेमेन्ट उसले पाउँछ होइन. त्यो सेकेन्ड इम्प्लोइले जसले चाहिँ जस्ट 2 आवर्स मात्र काम गरिरहेछ कम्पनीमा. तर जसले चाहिँ 10 आवर्स काम गरिरहेछ जसले चाहिँ थोरै युनिट्स बनाएको छ भने उसले चाहिँ कम पेमेन्ट पाउँछ है. सो टाइम चाहिँ इरिलेभेन्ट हुन्छ वेदर यु वर्क 10 to 6 इन एन अर्गनाइजेसन अर वेदर यु वर्क ओन्ली फर 2-3 आवर्स. your payment will depend upon the level of output you produce होइन. कति आउटपुट चाहिँ तिमीले बनायो कति रिजल्ट निकाल्यो रिजल्टको बेसमा चाहिँ you will be paid होइन. अब दिनभरि काम गर्यो तर एउटा पनि युनिट्स प्रोडक्सनमा उसको हेल्प भएन एउटा पनि युनिट्स बनाउन सकेन उसले भनेपछि he will receive nil payment होइन. अनि even though he has worked for 10 hours or 12 hours inside the factory. अनि अर्को इम्प्लोइ चाहिँ जसले चाहिँ 1 आवर मात्र काम गरेछ तर 10 युनिट्स बनाइरहेछ भने उसले 10 युनिट्स बराबरको पेमेन्ट पाउँछ होइन. सो टाइम फ्याक्टर इज इरिलेभेन्ट. यसमा चाहिँ रिजल्ट बेसमा चाहिँ पेमेन्ट गर्छ है आउटपुट बेसमा चाहिँ पेमेन्ट गर्छ. अनि टोटल वेजेस इज क्यालकुलेटेड बाई टोटल युनिट्स अफ आउटपुट प्रोड्युस मल्टिप्लाइड बाई वेजेस रेट पर युनिट अफ आउटपुट. The advantages of piece-weight system के हुन्छ त भन्दाखेरि this system pays wages according to the output produced by the workers. It encourages efficient workers होइन. अनि यसले चाहिँ के हुन्छ त यसले आउटपुट अकर्डिङ टु आउटपुट चाहिँ के गर्छ पेमेन्ट दिने गर्छ होइन पिस वाइज सिस्टमले. अनि के गर्छ त इन्करेज इफिसियन्ट वर्कर्स. जो वर्कर्सहरू चाहिँ इफिसियन्ट छन् होइन जो वर्करहरूले चाहिँ धेरैभन्दा धेरै युनिट्सहरू प्रड्युस गर्न सक्छ त्यस्तो वर्कर्सहरूलाई चाहिँ के गर्छ त इन्करेज गर्छ एकदम मोटिभेट गर्छ. अनि पिस रेट सिस्टम हेल्प्स टु रिड्युस द आइडल टाइम होइन. इम्प्लोइजहरूले के गर्नु जति सक्दो धेरै आइडल टाइमलाई पनि आइडल ब्रेक टाइमलाई पनि नलिएर होइन दे ट्राई टु प्रड्युस मोर एन्ड मोर युनिट्स होइन. किनभने उनीहरूको पेमेन्ट नै केमा डिपेन्डेन्ट हुन्छ त डिपेन्ड्स अपन द लेभल अफ आउटपुट. जति धेरै काम गर्यो त्यति धेरै आउटपुट आउँछ जति धेरै आउटपुट भयो त्यति नै धेरै के हुन्छ त्यसको पेमेन्ट हुन्छ है. So this system reduces per unit cost of production due to increased volume of production. यसमा चाहिँ employees and workers चाहिँ केमा बढी फोकस्ड हुन्छन्, आउटपुटमा बढी फोकस, धेरै भन्दा धेरै आउटपुट निकाल्न खोज्छन् हैन। सर्ट टाइममा धेरै भन्दा धेरै आउटपुट आए पनि के हुन्छ त हाम्रो पर युनिट कस्ट चाहिँ के हुन्छ, रिड्युस हुन जान्छ। पिस रेट सिस्टम रिक्वायर्स लेस सुपरभिजन कस्ट हैन। मान्छेहरु चाहिँ के हुन्छ, हाइली मोटिभेटेड हुन्छ, काममै फोकस हुन्छ, बिकज जति धेरै काम गर्यो त्यति धेरै आउटपुट निकाल्यो त्यति धेरै पेमेन्ट भइरहेको हुन्छ भनेपछि कसैले आइडल टाइम पनि लिँदैन, ब्रेक पनि कम लिन्छ भनेपछि कोही सुपरभिजन गर्नको लागि सुपरिन्टेन्डेन्ट्सहरु राख्नुपर्ने, इन्स्पेक्सन गर्नुपर्ने, कन्ट्रोल गरिराख्नुपर्ने हुँदैन, बिकज इम्प्लोइजहरु आफै नै मोटिभेटेड भएर द मोर आई प्रोड्युस द युनिट्स द मोर आई विल रिसिभ द पेमेन्ट भन्ने थाहा छ उनीहरुलाई। सो दे डोन्ट निड हाई सुपरभिजन मोनिटर त्यस्तो चाहिँदैन। सो पिस रेट रिक्वायर्स लेस सुपरभिजन कस्ट। सो यो चाहिँ के हो त, दिज आर द एडभान्टेजेस अफ पिस रेट सिस्टम। अनि अर्को भनेको disadvantages of piece rate system चाहिँ it doesn't help in producing quality output as the workers focus more on quantity instead of quality हैन। अब के हुन्छ त भन्दाखेरि एकदम हाई स्पिडमा धेरै आउटपुट गर्न थाले पनि क्वालिटी अटोमेटिकली डिग्रेड हुन्छ। सो क्वालिटी आउटपुट चाहिँ हुँदैन। अनि it is very difficult to fix an acceptable and reasonable piece rate for each item of output or job। piece rate भनेको अब हरेक प्रोडक्सन युनिट अफ प्रोडक्सन गर्दाखेरि लेबरलाई चाहिँ त्यो प्रोडक्ट गरे बापत कति रुपैयाँ दिने, कति चाहिँ पेमेन्ट राख्ने, कति रेट राख्ने भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ द्याट इज भेरी एब्सोल्युट टर्म्समा हुँदैन, इट्स भेरी रिलेटिभ हैन, द्याट्स भेरी बायस्ड अनि जजमेन्टल पनि हुन जान्छ। पर युनिट बराबर कति पे गर्ने त लेबरलाई हैन, द्याट इज भेरी ट्रिकी क्वेसन एज वेल। अनि दिस सिस्टम एडभर्सली एफेक्ट्स द वर्कर्स हेल्थ एज वेल। कसरी वर्करको हेल्थलाई ह्याम्पर गर्छ भन्दाखेरि यसमा चाहिँ लो अनि पुवर इकोनोमिक ब्याकग्राउन्डबाट आउने इम्प्लोइजहरु चाहिँ हाइली म्यानिपुलेटेड हुने चान्सेस हुन्छ, किनभने उनीहरु दे आर इन निड अफ मनी हैन। अनि उनीहरुले चाहिँ जति धेरै काम आउटपुट निकाल्छ त्यति धेरै नै यु विल रिसिभ पेमेन्ट भन्ने पनि उनीहरु दिन रात हैन आफ्नो हेल्थको ख्याल नगरिकन, ब्रेक पनि नलिकन, एकछिन रेस्ट पनि नगरिकन दे ट्राई टु हुन्छ नि गेट मोर एन्ड मोर आउटपुट्स हैन। त्यसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ के हुन्छ त इम्प्लोइजको इमोसनल, फिजिकल, मेन्टल सबै हेल्थ के डिटोरेट हुन्छ। दे जस्ट ट्राई बिकम लाइक मसिन जस्तो हुन्छ मान्छे हैन, जस्ट धेरैभन्दा धेरै आउटपुट निकाल्न खोज्ने, आइडल टाइम पनि नलिने, ब्रेक पनि नलिने, अनि एकोरो भएर त्यो काम मात्र मसिन जस्तो हुन्छ मान्छे। अनि हाई लेभल इम्प्लोइज, हाई इकोनोमिक ब्याकग्राउन्डबाट आउने इम्प्लोइजहरु चाहिँ ल ठिक छ मनी इज नट एभ्रिथिङ, हेल्थलाई पनि प्रायोरिटी राखौँ भने उनीहरु ब्रेक लिएर गर्ने हुन्छ। तर पुवर अनि लो इकोनोमिक ब्याकग्राउन्डबाट आउने इम्प्लोइजहरुको लागि चाहिँ के हुन्छ त यो बर्ड एउटा कस्तो भन्छ च्यालेन्ज जस्तो हुन्छ। उनीहरुले धेरै पैसा पनि अर्न गर्नु छ अनि दे गेट एक्सप्लोइटेड इन द नेम अफ मनी के। अनि धेरै भन्दा धेरै टाइम स्पेन्ड गरेर धेरै आउटपुट निकाले टु ट्राई टु अर्न मोर मनी हैन, टु फुलफिल देयर निड्स। सो यसले चाहिँ के गर्छ वर्कर्सको हेल्थलाई पनि ह्याम्पर गर्छ, बिकज इट ब्रिङ्स अनहेल्दी कम्पिटिसन हैन, अनहेल्दी वाला इन्भाइरोमेन्ट लिएर आउने भएको भएर दिस आर द डिसएडभान्टेजेस अफ पिस वेज सिस्टम। अनि we have illustration, time-wise system, disadvantage and other questions. यो सबै आज सक्ने प्लान चाहिँ थियो, but I have to leave early today. यो भोलि पनि क्लास छ हाम्रो फ्राइडे, अनि भोलि चाहिँ हामी सबै क्वेसन गर्छौँ। एन्ड tomorrow I'll also be sharing the assignment with you all। अनि त्यो असाइनमेन्ट चाहिँ नेक्स्ट विक सबमिट गर्नुपर्छ। अनि 2-3 hours मजाले टाइम दियो भने असाइनमेन्ट गर्न सकिन्छ। आई होप यु विल अल बी डुइङ विदाउट कपिङ हैन, सबैले आफैले नै बुझेर चाहिँ गर्नेछ भन्ने द्याट आई होप। अनि आई थ्याङ्क यू सो मच है, आई हेभ टु लिभ अर्ली टुडे ड्यु टु सम emergency conditions. Thank you so much everyone. Have a nice day. I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you class.
Bye.
Bye ma'am.